Hello everybody, welcome back to my EVS class. So I am your EVS teacher Sakshi Sharma, and today again we are learning about food and nutrition, that is chapter 8 part 2. Now why part 2? Because we had already done half of the chapter in a previous video, and if you have not seen that video yet, go to the description box of this video. There you will find the link of part 1 video, right? So let's get started. So in the previous video we had learned about the food that we get from plants as well as from animals, right? Now we were talking about the nutrition that we get from the food. Why are we eating this food? Okay, so we are eating food just for this nutrition, just to get this nutrition, right? Now what is that nutrient? Nutrients are the compounds in food essential to life and health, providing us with energy, the building blocks for repair and growth, and substances necessary to regulate chemical processes, right? So this nutrition, these nutrients we are getting from the food, which are basically helping us by providing us instant energy, by providing us building blocks to repair our tissues, to repair our muscles. For example, if we met with an accident or any kind of injury, so if we are eating nutritious food, so obviously it will help us to get back, to get fit again, back to our position very early, right? So we should be eating various variety of foods to get proper nutrients. Foods that naturally are nutrient rich include fruits and vegetables. So the very nutritious food is the category of fruits as well as vegetables, which provide us a maximum of the nutrition. Now nutrients, the definition for it: a substance or ingredient that promotes growth, provides energy and maintains our life. No single food can supply all the nutrients. You have to keep this in mind, that there is no single food which can supply all the nutrients. We know that we are calling milk as the complete food, but still milk is lacking few of the nutrition. It is fit for a child, but when we are grown up, we need extra nutrition too, right? We need all the nutrients. So that's why no single food is there which can provide us all the nutrients. So there are 5 main food groups. This is your plate. Now you can see which amount we are having of which category. So the very first is your carbohydrates, then comes proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals, roughage and water. Here you can see your minerals, from where you are getting carbohydrates, all the cereals, bread, wheat, rice, millets. Comes on fats, vitamins and minerals, water and protein. Now here we are talking about balanced diet. Now what is this balanced diet basically? So any diet which has all the nutrients in proper amount, in the right amount. So simply right amounts of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, all the vitamins, roughage as well as the water makes up a balanced diet. So here is the definition, you can read it out. A balanced diet includes food from 5 main groups, right? There are 5 major food groups from which we take food to make up our balanced diet. So these are your categories. So the very first is your carbohydrate, and carbohydrate is also known as go foods. Why? Because it provides us instant energy to do a lot of physical work, right? Now what are the types of carbohydrates? There are 2 types of carbohydrates. First is sugar, another is starches. Now what are these sugars? These are also known as simple carbohydrates, and we find these simple carbohydrates in fruits like apple, bananas, etc. Another comes starches. These are known as complex carbohydrates, and we find it in bread, cereals, potatoes, etc. Right? Now why we call it sugars as simple carbohydrates? Because it takes less amount of time to get digested. That means if we are consuming simple carbohydrates, that are your sugars, it will stay in our tummy for a little time, and after that it will easily get digested, right? But the second one is your complex carbohydrates, which are basically your starches, right? If we are eating starches, it will stay in our tummy for a longer time. That means it will help us to feel full for a longer time. Now, when are we eating these starches? Every day, all the people who are working, who are having a lot of physical work, like the laborers, right, are helpers which are helping us constantly doing physical work. They need a lot of complex carbohydrates, because there is no need, they will not feel need to eat again and again and again. Another example is whenever we keep fast, so obviously we cannot eat much, so that's why we eat potatoes, right, because these are complex carbohydrates. It will stay in our tummy for a longer time. Next one comes your proteins. So all these products that you are seeing here provides you protein only, right? Protein is also known as your bodybuilding food as well as grow food. Why bodybuilding? Because it is helping our body to build our muscles, to repair our tissues, to repair our muscles, right? So that's why all the people who are working hard to get their body feel full and muscular, they are having a lot of proteins. Second is, why are these proteins known as grow food also? Because it is helping your body to grow properly, right? So we should be having a lot of proteins. Another category is of fats. There are two types of fats. First is your good fat, another one is your bad fat. So good fat you get from all these things and many more, right? All your dry fruits, avocados, salmon, olive oil, these are your good foods, good fats, right? And which one are the bad fats? Like your fatty meat, it is not good for your health. Processed cheese, not the normal one but the processed cheese, processed ice creams, fried food, all your these Chinese food and all your junk food is basically your bad fats, which is again not good for your health. Another comes your vitamins and minerals. It is the same category. We get vitamins and minerals from various fruits as well as vegetables, and it helps our body to feel protected, right? And essential nutrients also we are getting from these. Another is your minerals that we get from again vegetables and fruits. All these are sources of minerals. Next is water. We can drink water directly in the liquid form only, but another way we are eating these vegetables, in which in cucumber even we are talking, so 96% of the cucumber is basically water. In watermelon 92% of water is there. In pineapple 87% of the fruit is water. In this same way you can all read this one, so you will find that all these fruits are basically providing us water. Also known as proteins are also known as bodybuilding food as well as grow food. Fats are known as glow food because it provides us a lot of shine to our body. Vitamins are known as essential nutrients or protective food because it is keeping our body feel protective out of all the diseases, right? It is keeping our body away from any of the infection as well as any disease. Then comes roughage and fiber. What is this roughage? All the food that we get. For example, if we are chewing something, roughage or fiber are the same things basically. For example, if you are chewing something, you drank all the juice from there. Now the fork which you get in your mouth is basically the fiber, which is helping your body to digest the food easily, right? Last is the carbohydrates, that is known as go food or energy giving food, because carbohydrates are the one which provides us the energy constantly and very quickly. My food group, if you want to do it on your notebook, you can, right? Now how food reaches us? We are talking about food from plants, animals, this, that. Now how this food is reaching us? We all know that food starts growing there in farmers' field, and we must be thankful, we should be thankful to the farmers who are growing food for us, right? The journey of the crop, simply the food, starts in farmers' field. Farmers grow cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables in their fields. Now how are we getting this? These steps they take, after that we get food, right? So plowing, sowing, irrigation, harvesting, threshing, winnowing, distributors, wholesalers, retailers and consumers. So let's talk about these points one by one. So the very first is your plowing. So simply you can see in the picture, the person is tilling the land, that means loosening of the land. Farmers first prepare and level the fields by plowing, and they also remove all these unwanted plants that are known as weeds. Right? Plowing is the process of breaking, loosening the soil and turning it over for uprooting weeds. So as I told you that these weeds need to be removed, otherwise these weeds, these unwanted plants will be consuming the nutrients from the soil, which we really want to save for our crop. Now big farmers use tractors, whereas small farmers use oxen to plow their fields. Right? After plowing, manure and fertilizers are added to the soil to make it rich in nutrients. So the natural fertilizer that we have is cow dung, which is very cheaper, right? Another, we have a lot of chemical fertilizers which we should not be using, because finally it will harm us, back to us, all the consumers, right? Grown seeds are known as sapling. All these small plants are known as saplings. Second process that comes is sowing, right? Beej bona. Sowing seeds into the soil for germination comes in this point. Third is your irrigation. So this is very common way of irrigating the fields, where there are pipelines and a shower over it which sprinkles the water through the to the whole field. Irrigation is a process of supplying water to the land at regular intervals by means of canals or artificial methods like pipelines to enhance agricultural growth. So irrigation is again very important. Young plants or saplings are watered regularly and sprayed with pesticides and insecticide. Pesticides are the chemicals that we use to keep away all the pests, and insecticides are used to keep away all the insect, right? All these small insects which are harming our crop, we keep them away using these pesticides and insecticides. Then you know that irrigation is a process of watering the crops. Now after a few months, what will happen? After irrigation, these crops will be grown up. After about 6 months, the crops are cut, and this process is known as harvesting. So as you see in the picture also, here you see the farmer is cutting the crop using a sickle, right? Sickle is this kind of a tool which the farmer used to cut the crops. Now again, if the farmer is small, little poor, so he will be using only sickle, that means harvesting using his own hand, manually he will be harvesting the crop. But if the farmer is rich or a big farmer, so he will be using many harvesting machines to cut the crop. So harvesting simply means cutting down of the crops. Then comes your threshing. There will be a little confusion if you have between threshing and winnowing, then I will be clearing it out today only. Threshing is a process in which we separate grains from the stalk. Stalk is the rest of the plant, right? The rest of the crop. So we are removing grains in the process of threshing. Here you can see, right? We again do it manually as well as by machine. This process is used by farmer to separate gram, wheat, rice, mustard seeds in his field. The second one is winnowing. Now what is winnowing? Removing the husk from the grain is called winnowing. Now please don't get confused in threshing as well as winnowing. Threshing is the removal of the grains from the stalk, whereas winnowing means removal of the husk from the grain. For example, if you are taking the example of rice, so the outer covering, that brown covering, is known as husk. When we remove that, that is called winnowing. Then comes your distributors, wholesalers and retailers. If you talk about the distributor, once the winnowing is over, the farmer will be having a bag of rice. For example, a bag of rice. So the farmer will be sending that rice to the distributor, right? And then finally distributor will give it to the wholesaler, and wholesaler will give it to the retailer, and finally retailer will give it to us, that is consumer. Okay. Now, the distributor is one who distribute the products in the market, right? Wholesaler buy large quantity and retailer buy small quantity from the wholesaler. So this way we are getting a material. So the very last is us, that is consumer. The definition of the consumer is a person that buys goods or services. An example of consumer is a person who purchases new television. Now let me give you the example again. We were talking about a bag of rice. The farmer will be sending that bag of rice to the distributor, for example, at 50 rupees cost, 50 rupees per bag. Now the distributor is going to give it to the wholesaler at 60 rupees. Just an example. That wholesaler will be giving it to the retailer, say 70 rupees. Then finally the retailer will give it to the consumer, that is us, on 80 or 90 rupees. So now see the difference. It started from 50 and reaches us at 80 or 90. So there are many companies which are basically working on this only, that they are giving the material, taking the material basically from the farmers and directly giving to the customer. This way a lot of companies are doing. Okay, thank you. If you have any query, please ask me there in the chat box, the comment box down. And if you really like my video, please give me a thumbs up, right? Keep learning, stay hydrated, keep smiling always. Bye bye.